Prime Minister received the news of the Queen's death from a police officer who woke her with a torch in the early hours of the day.
Jacinda Ardern said as soon as the officer entered her room, she knew what had happened. Political reporter Amelia Wade reports on some of the anecdotes the PM shared about the Queen's visits here.
With Queen Elizabeth by her side, the Prime Minister addressing a nation in mourning.
It is with great sadness that New Zealand wakes to the news of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Jacinda Ardern, one of the first in the world to learn the Queen had died, that London Bridge had fallen, but like most New Zealanders, was asleep.
I received a message from the Cabinet Secretary, but of course they needed me to be awake to receive it, and so I had a police officer shine a torch into my room at about 10 to 5 this morning.
The sad news, though, no surprise.
Just the night prior, I'd been reading some of the news about her state of health, as many will have been observing. And so when that torchlight came into my room, I knew immediately what it meant.
A detailed plan lying dormant until this day, then swung into action. A statement sent before dawn, a black dress and an early address.
The last days of the Queen's life captures who she was in so many ways, working till the very end on behalf of the people she loved.
Ardern, the 17th Prime Minister Her Majesty had seen, Queen Elizabeth, the only monarch Ardern had ever known.
She has also demonstrated courage, compassion and humour. A strong memory I will have of her is her laughter.
Laughter the Queen shared with Prime Ministers both present and past.
I remember gifting her, on behalf of New Zealand, the first time that I met her, an image of her visit to New Zealand. It was some 50 years prior, and a young woman at that time had caught a Polaroid image of her. And I did not for a moment expect her to recall anything of the moment that photo was taken, but it showed her in the back of a vehicle laughing. Not only did she remember the visit, she could remember what was making her laugh.
It was this picture, and it was Kiwi's informality which made her laugh. On that first trip to New Zealand, she met her first New Zealand Prime Minister, Sydney Holland, and it was people calling him by his first name, Sid, that she found so funny.
I think she found it endearing.
But it's another memory which Ardern treasures most.
Probably one of my fondest memories will be the conversation I had with her during the lockdown period. She called just to check on how New Zealand was doing.
The Prime Minister's so comfortable with Her Majesty, she once asked what it was like to be a mother and a queen.
She pondered for a moment and then essentially said, well, you just have to get on.
Ardern then getting on with proceedings, alongside the Governor-General putting her words to paper. The Prime Minister writing of her deepest gratitude for the Queen's love for the people of Aotearoa and for her life of service. Haere atu rā. The power of the Crown is automatically transferred to King Charles. He is now the King of New Zealand. He is now our head of state. On Sunday, the flags will be lifted back to full mast and a herald will stand here on the steps of Parliament and read a proclamation announcing the King. The Prime Minister and the Governor-General will then head to the United Kingdom next week to attend the Queen's funeral and will pay their respects on behalf of New Zealanders. Today, though, a day to process the loss of a reassuring anchor as the world and New Zealand changed.
This is a time of deep sadness. Young or old, there is no doubt that a chapter is closing today. And with that, we share our thanks for an incredible woman who we were lucky enough to call our Queen.
An incredible woman with an incredible reign. Amelia Wade, Newshub.